Welcome to Deep Thought. Confronting false beliefs is a constant battle. Now, you know what? Y'all know this is the Deep Thought channel, so sometimes you know what? I'm not even going to talk about anything particular. I'm just going to share my thoughts on something, right? Whole point of it, right? This is my philosophizing channel, right? And I was thinking about false beliefs. I'm going to tell you what. There's been a constant false belief. I'm going to keep it to myself, but I've been battled this one all my life, right? And it's something about myself that it's ironic. It's actually a good thing. It's actually a good thing, but I'm trying to downplay it because I have a basic amount of humility. But it's something I have to admit to that it works for me. But, you know, I keep downplaying it, right? And I'm thinking to myself, okay, because I'm downplaying it, it's affecting something else. I mean, regardless of the seemingly noble reason that I'm downplaying this false belief, it's still a false belief. I'm not dealing with the reality of something. And like I said, I ain't sharing what's up. I got too many people trying to figure me out now. I don't want to make it hard for them. But I'm going to tell you what. Whether in my case, like, this ain't a bad thing to confront, but, you know, many other people got other false beliefs that they have, right? And that's, you know, that's what I want to give a perspective on. I'm going to tell you what, it's a constant battle. It is a constant battle. Even when you think you got it licked, it's a constant battle. Like, there was a false belief that I carry because, let's be real, everybody got several. And I already told y'all, I ain't no guru on a mountain or something. I'm still learning, you know. I probably, if I follow family history and keep myself healthy, I'll probably live well into my 90s, maybe even make it over 100. That means I still got a lot of stuff I need to deal with. But it's a constant thing. I mean, people will have, a person could have like hundreds of false beliefs, right? Reason why they'll have hundreds of false beliefs is, you know, it's every little thing. It could be like a little small false belief, right? It could be small, it could be large, whatever, right? Prejudices, all of that stuff. You constantly fighting. You constantly fighting. And as I was about to say, there was a false belief I carried for a long time. And it for people who, I think I did some on counterfeit personas. Probably on one of my paid videos, but it had to do with my counterfeit persona, right? Which is a set of false beliefs. And I remember I told my mentor, I was proud. I was like proud. I said, I've defeated my false beliefs, which turned out to be a false belief that I defeated my false beliefs. Because in times of stress, it comes out, right? In times of stress, this persona comes out. It pops out hard. And I was just like, wow. Like when I least expect it. So it's a constant battle because understand something with false beliefs. They start, a false belief will start when you're in the womb. It starts when you're in the womb because it's been shown that a baby can hear everything going on. True story. When my co-parent was pregnant with my youngest son, it was getting late in the pregnancy and he was in a breech position. He hadn't turned yet, right? He had not turned. So she calmly asked me, hey, can you please turn for me? And all of a sudden, this baby didn't move that much during the pregnancy. Like, we had to poke him to make sure he was, like, still good. But I'll never forget, at that moment, he just started turning. All of a sudden, that was the most movement in the stomach. Like, literally just started turning over and everything, right? And so that showed that he heard it. Now, a false belief can start before birth. Like, say somebody, say a woman get pregnant and she's in a bad situation, not even with her husband or something, but she's always talking down on babies, or she's in an environment where people are saying, you know, kids are evil, all of this stuff. That child could come out like with a false belief already because they hearing it. Now, it goes into their subconscious. They couldn't articulate if you tried. They wouldn't even remember it. Right? But they coming out with something, right? And then I could show how, depending on the environment, you know, if somebody, like if a child is born into an environment where it's a dangerous and the mother's hostile, people around the baby is generally hostile, This baby will grow up with the false belief that the whole world is hostile because that's their world. So they start in there. Or you got another child, maybe a little bit later, they could start off with the belief that they could start off with the belief that they would be abandoned unless they make a lot of noise. You get some mothers, they don't breastfeed their children enough, and I hate to say it really is on the mothers at that young age when they babies. It starts becoming more the fathers, or at least equally the fathers, once they like get past toddler stage. But those first couple of years are key. So in this case, you might have a mother just for whatever reason, maybe not even the mother stuff. She ain't malicious in it. Maybe she going through some stuff, so she might not be able to bond with the child as much, hold the child as much, right? And that child experiences that as abandonment. Or the child notices that in order to get some attention from a parent or anybody, they got to scream out or they got to behave a certain way. So they grow up with a false belief. They got to do this all the time, right? Or they got to do this to get attention and whatnot, right? Or another false belief, and some people might recognize where I'm going with this if I talk, but another false, as they hear what I'm saying, but another false belief is that, a child might feel like to get the love it wants, it needs to control the situation. That's a prevalent false belief. If it's a little boy to get love, and this is usually in cases where, especially in cases where a mother might call that little boy her little man or something. He might feel like to get love and attention, he needs to be in control. Or a woman, she gets that. She feel like she need to be in control, right? And it goes further. I ain't gonna get into two other major ones, right? But this is a constant battle because one of these false beliefs, like I say, they start when we're born. They start when we're born, and then it's a constant pile on because what happens is, because we have a certain predisposition to believe in something, we'll get into situations where this is true. If someone has a belief that everyone is trying to control them, right? Or that they're a victim or something, guess what they're going to do? They're always going to put themselves in a position of that. They're going to gravitate towards those things. Or if they feel like, the people they want the most, especially of the opposite sex, are going to reject them, a lot of times they'll put themselves in that position, and that's the false belief. So then it's reinforced. So you constantly fighting it. Like the first thing is just recognizing it's a false belief, right? Is this really true? And that's the toughest thing because it seems true, but you have objective truth and then you have subjective truth. Most of us operate with subjective truth. Our objective truth is that the sun will rise, right? Objective truth is there. But as far as a situation, as far as some circumstances, there's not a truth to it, like relationships or how women will treat men. You got guys right here on the internet. They believe women are unfair. They got some flaws to them. Women will treat you poorly. They will try to control you, right? And that's normal. That's their truth. But then you got some men. You got another group of men, they'll say, oh, no, the women are all right. They might be, I just don't give them a chance to. They might, at best, if they reject me, I don't give them a chance to. Or they feel like, hey, we got to control these women, right? So they so there's no objective truth with any of it. It's a subjective thing, right? And that's their truth. But their truth could also be a false belief. Because maybe it's their own actions that's creating a reality. So it's a constant battle. It's a constant thing. One way to really look at a false belief is are you being helped going through life with it? That's one way. Because one thing about false beliefs, they're going to prevent you from having happiness. Like depending on the false belief, you might be able to get some level of happiness or some tangible guide, but for the most part, it's going to stop you because it's going to be the very thing that stop you from getting what you want, right? So you got to ask yourself, okay, am I getting what I want? Am I living the life that I want to live? Because I'm going to tell you the truth, even though I've said I'm still confronting false beliefs, confronting some basic false beliefs got me to a point of where I have what I want in life, which is control over my own life. or at least options. It's much leverage over my own life. Nobody has control over their life, total control, but they got leverage for how I got leverage in how I want to respond to things, right? So, in fact, I'm going to talk about that in my next one. So, yeah, you got leverage on how you want to respond to things. So that's me. That's me. But in order to get to that point, I had to confront some basic false beliefs. Once I moved them out the way, and every time I can move one out the way, then it's like one more thing, right? So that's a constant battle. So something to think about, and I'll get back with y'all later. Peace.